The history of Nirrti. Nirrti was a goa'uld system lord who experimented to create and exploit advanced humans, which she continued to do so up until her death in January 2003. When the goa'uld still held dominion over Earth, Nirrti had little interest whatsoever in political bickering or military power. Her primary concern was the study of humans and how their physical abilities as hosts could be improved. The other goa'uld, however, would not give her the time or opportunity to delve into her studies. Kali, in particular, aggressively sought to take over Nirrti's holding in present-day India. Thus, Nirrti was forced to play the political game that she so loathed. She partnered with Olokan, a relationship which would prove to be disastrous for him, but beneficial to Nirrti. She slowly but surely established a large power base, and by the time of the Tawri rebellion in Egypt, she had more than earned the title of System Lord. Her continued research on how to modify human hosts led to devastating casualties in her slave populations, and she took to using slaves of other system lords without their permission. Basset and Kali, infuriated, managed to get Nirrti stripped of her system lord status. By this time, however, the galactic empire of the goa'ulds were vast, and even while demoted, Nirrti had no trouble finding wayward human populations to perform tests on, and this was all that really mattered to her. After Ra's death, she was able to regain much of her old territory in the vacuum, and thus was reinstated as a System Lord. While investigating the Lilin, Dr. Daniel Jackson found information that indicates Nirrti killed their creator, the ancient Lilith. While Nirrti is stated to be one of Lilith's children, in the information Daniel found, he thinks it's more likely Nirrti was Lilith's protege, or had taken her as a host briefly to get access to her knowledge on genetics before killing her. 1997 AD. Nirrti seemed obsessed with creating enhanced humans, or Haktar, which could serve as hosts. She tried various experiments, including killing the inhabitant of the planet Handcuff with a bacterial infection, the only survivor being a young girl named Cassandra, in whom she placed a bomb in an effort to destroy Earth's Stargate. Fortunately, Cassandra lived and was adopted by Dr. Janet Fraser, the SGC's medical officer. 1999. Later, when the System Lords agreed to negotiate with the Asgard to include Earth in the Protected Planets Treaty, Nirrti accompanied Kronos and Lord Yu as part of a goa'uld delegation. During the negotiations, she was adamant that the Tawri were too powerful and aggressive towards the System Lords for the goa'uld to allow them to go unchecked, essentially arguing that the Tawri were fair game and did not need protection of the Asgard. Also, during these discussions, it was revealed that Nirrti had long aspired to capture Kronos' domain. Using cloaking technology, Nirrti attacked Kronos in his quarters, framing Teal'c for the attack. Colonel Jack O'Neill decided to bluff, saying that they knew that she was experimenting with phase-shifting technology, and she exposed herself. She was captured and became a prisoner of Kronos. 2001. After Kronos was killed by SG1 2 years later, Nirrti escaped his prison and managed to rebuild her forces, while the rest of the System Lords were distracted by the return of Anubis. She found out that Cassandra Fraser was still alive and attempted to find more information about Cassandra in order to conduct more experiments on other people. At one point, she managed to sneak into the Stargate command using a goa'uld cloaking device that made her invisible, having originally been waiting in her own lab for the chance to do so. When she was eventually discovered and captured, she offered to help save Cassandra, who was dying of a retrovirus that was turning her into a Haktar. Nirrti demanded her freedom, cloaking device, and a sample of Cassandra's blood in exchange. Major General George S. Hammond initially refused. In an act of desperation, Dr. Janet Fraser held Nirrti at gunpoint, demanding that she help. After Hammond agreed to free her and reminded her that Fraser was Cassandra's adopted mother, Nirrti healed the girl and was allowed to leave unharmed. Although Nirrti admitted that without a sample of Cassandra's blood, she would be forced to start all over again with her research. 2002. During a talk Concerning the upcoming System Lord Summit, Major Samantha Carter expressed some concern about Nirrti showing up to the summit. Sam's father, Jacob Carter, revealed that there wasn't any chance of that happening, given how Nirrti was still a renegade and also a persona non grata among the System Lords. Kitano's rebel Jaffa captured a shipment of weapons intended for Nirrti's Jaffa on a planet of her domain. Kitano managed to convert many of her Jaffa to his cause. He later sent a team of rebel Jaffa on a suicide mission to another planet on Nirrti's territory. Adrian Conrad's goa'ulds were able to help Colonel Frank Simmons make a deal with Nirrti, allowing her to capture Dr. Janet Fraser as part of Nirrti's revenge for defying her attempts to analyze Cassandra Fraser. In exchange, Nirrti gave Simmons information on how to genetically engineer humans into Jaffas. Her plan was thwarted when SG1 managed to rescue Fraser, with Major General George S. Hammond and Braytax leading the effort to kill and or capture new Jaffas that she had created. 2003. The Russians, SG-14, later discovered that her experiments to create a Hakhtar on the planet P3X367, this time through genetic manipulation, finding Alabran in his ruined city after he had left Nirrti. They brought him back to Stargate Command to speak to SG-1, as it was because of them that Nirrti was still free. Alabran informed them of all that he knew, but soon died due to Nirrti's experiments, seemingly to turn into liquid. The two SG teams returned to the planet in order to help the natives, but the natives did not believe that Nirrti was evil, as she had been the one to save them from a plague which had ravished their planet. Teal'c and Jonas Quinn were taken prisoner by the natives after Edgar discovered their intent to kill Nirrti in O'Neill's mind, and the others were soon captured upon Nirrti's return also. SG-1 attempted to inform the natives of Nirrti's true motives, while Nirrti performed experiments on both teams, meeting with no success for some time. Nirrti performed several experiments on both members of both teams, before finding that Jonas's heritage had caused him to be somewhat more evolved than the Tauri. She was sure she could create her Hakhtar in him, and even asked if he would submit to allow her to do so. Although Jonas had rejected her offer, Nirrti nevertheless performed several experiments on him. During this time, however, SG-1 was able to somewhat convince the natives of Nirrti's true intents after Edgar read her mind. He discovered this to be true. Wadden then killed Nirrti by telekinesis, breaking her neck, but not before she made subtle modifications to Jonas's DNA that resulted in him developing the ability to see into multiple futures during a later mission. Her efforts were short-lived, as Edgar had read her mind before her death, allowing him to reverse what she had done to everyone, including Carter. Unknown to anyone at the time, Nirrti's experiments on Jonas Quinn gave him the ability of precognition through a brain tumor that formed. Jonas had only limited control over it, and unlike Nirrti, believed that his heritage did not allow his body to stabilize, though he didn't liquefy. Ultimately, the tumor was removed, and Jonas lost the ability Nirrti gave him, but not before he used it to aid SG-1 in defending the goa'uld Underlord Mott and his Jaffa, who were ruling P4S-237 and tried to attack Earth. Thank you for watching the history of the goa'uld System Lord Nirrti. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you can. If you have, thank you, and have a good day. Bye-bye.